When did you realize you liked art? I spent so many years of my life with a limited scope of what creativity is and can be. I grew up in an area that just didn't expose me to what goes on in the streets, if you know what I mean. The street scene and my tastes have definitely transformed over the years, but I still want to invite you on the first steps of my journey. And also ask you, what style of art do you gravitate toward? Do you know what you like yet? There's a starter log to any burning interest, right? Like with crystals, it's amethyst. With a new language, it's saying basic greetings. With street art, it's Banksy. I have to admit, the moment that I consciously realized I was into street art was when I bought a Banksy print in London. I just liked the style. I liked the implication. I liked that the work was outside. A year later, I stumbled onto Melrose, and I almost lost my mind. There was art everywhere. There were stickers, there were wheat pastes, there were sidewalk stencils, there were murals, lots and lots of murals. The neighborhood was teeming with this frayed yet intentional creative edge that I had never seen publicly displayed anywhere else. It just seemed so cool. It's just really cool. I fell into that scene in 2014, and to me, the conditions were peak. It was obvious that the artists were in it for the art, not for the commissions, not for the social media clout, or the housing projects that somehow always led to gentrification. At that point, in 2014, the passion was still palpable, and I found myself magnetized to a Melrose street art gallery. It was there that I began to develop my love for the art and appreciation for the artists. The first artist I came to recognize after Banksy was Shepard Fairey. His work was all over this Melrose street art gallery. I found out that Shepard Fairey was an art activist who broke ground in 1989 with a sticker campaign of Andre the Giant. He's credited with the concept of plastering stickers in public places, which at that time challenged social norms. Now he's a key figure in the development of modern urban art, whatever that means. And if you're still scratching your head over who he is, do you remember the Obama Hope campaign poster? He designed it. He's also behind the clothing line Obey. His mission is to encourage viewers to question the role marketing plays in their conscious and unconscious behaviors. As time went on, I think this made him very effective at influencing public behavior and driving sales. Another heavy hitter at the gallery was Risk, or Risky, or Risk Rock. I was into his lettering and his dripping colors. Every single time he came to the gallery, at least one person would grab me and tell me that he was a local legend. I swear, that's Risk. He's an OG. Literally circulated around him wherever he went. I mean, it makes sense. He is credited as the founder of the West Coast graffiti scene. He was one of the first graffiti writers in SoCal to paint freight trains in the 1980s, and he also pioneered writing on freeway overpasses. So, legend, yeah. Murals were also banished in the city of LA for a decade, and and Risk and Shepard Fairey ended up creating the first mural that was legal in Skid Row, so both of them quite legendary. Unfortunately, it is harder to show high-quality images from this time period. There is a mural conservancy of Los Angeles, but while they do log all the photos, it's still kind of a dinosaur. And since the scene is small, there aren't that many street art photographers, and those who do photograph the walls often don't upload their photos beyond social media, so there are entire time periods of wall transformations that are just lost forever. The nature of the streets also means that an exceptional mural can get tagged over within days. Sometimes it's just 'cause. Sometimes it's because the artist is not in their native neighborhood, or a writer just wants to get up and knows that a fresh mural is sublime real estate. Some people refer to that type of person as a toy. Anyway, I'm relegated to squares from Risk's Instagram, so here are some of my favorites of his work. Before we returned to the artists I discovered through the gallery, I do remember running into one of Cyrcle's works early on. Cyrcle was a duo that was at large for a decade. Their artwork explored life, duality, and the human condition. Their manifesto at this time was very similar to Shepard Fairey's. They were into seeing how symbols of power wreaked control of our minds. Luckily, several Cyrcle murals still survive to this day, like this Magic is Real mural that greets anyone getting off the Glendale Freeway. Cyrcle serves an Ouroboros as a reminder that flesh is weak, life is fragile, and science and God are interconnected, and all that is served straight to you, right at the off-ramp. In order to tag Cyrcle on social media, I had to find them first, and this informed my baby algorithm to show me more art from the streets. I was handed JR, a French photographer, who perceived the street to be the largest art gallery in the world. Like the artists mentioned before, JR also strove to challenge widely held preconceptions, but his main aim was to show the humanity in people. The first piece I saw of his was done in 2006, when he pasted enlarged photocopies of residents from a Paris ghetto, Le Bouquet. I think I'm saying that right. The area was known on the news for riots and social discontent, and the young people were referred to as scum. So JR captured caricatures of the youth and plastered them not only in the Le Bouquet, but in the Bobo or bougie city districts as well. The installation issued a symbolic reminder that these were human beings that should be acknowledged and heard instead of reduced to a nuisance or a threat. After JR came Vhils, a Portuguese artist who drilled and chiseled faces into plaster and brick walls. Vhils values the idea of turning ordinary individuals into icons and chooses someone local for the face of each of his walls. His hope is to encourage a stronger bond between the city and its population, so they take care of each other. His carving process involves chisels, drills, hammers, bleach, I would finally stumble upon a piece of his in Venice months later. I had no idea that there was one that close, and it is inspiring. You can run your hands over it and feel all of the layers. It's wild. So at this point, I think we can recognize work by Shepard Fairey, Risk, Cyrcle, JR, and Vhils. Next came the Cryptik mandalas. Everyone who sees one gets caught in the web of his unique calligraphy. His work beautifies whatever it touches. Cryptik is dedicated to helping humanity evolve toward a greater awareness and deeper understanding of life. If you have further questions about what that means exactly, just stare into the hypnotic mandalas, and therein lies your answer. This is ancient futurism at its finest. All the art I'd seen up to Cryptik was powerful and strong, and I loved everything it stood for, definitely, but Cryptik's mandalas, they made me feel good inside. They were pretty. I lingered longer around them. I wanted them in my home. But finally, in the gallery, was David Flores. He was known for his series of iconic figures. With these, he wanted to produce a body of work that was aesthetically pleasing, with respect and a nod to artists, explorers, and influential people of the past and present. He even coined a new style called stained glass, which is that signature segmented look you can see in his paintings. This is where he interprets lighting in a more illustrative way. The stained glass style makes it much easier to identify any work he has made. David Flores is the last artist in my street art starter pack, which for me was highly specific to the streets of LA. Each city has its own flavor and tone, and if you're in a city with street art, I'm curious what yours is, and who your artists are. If you couldn't tell, I am geeked to be exploring it with you. It's a huge world to get lost in. I would also like to give an honorable mention to Herakut. I don't remember how I found them, but they were the first artists that I gravitated towards after Cryptik. Herakut is a German duo who combine traditional techniques with spray paint to depict mythological and comedic scenes that correlate to present injustices. I'm obsessed with them. Their style, the substance, the phrasing that she uses. I eventually coordinated a wall for them to paint, but that comes much later. When I found their work for the first time, I binged every single wall that I could find, and of every single artist that I've mentioned so far, Hera of Herakut is the only woman in the mix. You might be wondering where all the female street artists are, and they do exist. I just didn't know that in the beginning. I found that out the next time. But for now, what do you think about the art you've seen? Did any stand out? Did any of the pieces evoke anything within you? I plan to follow this up with future explorations into the street scene and also dive into the digital and virtual spheres I wound up in. Thanks for being here.